Let's hear from some experts about their experiences with research posters and their recommendations for how to successfully navigate a poster session.
Think of it more as a story with sort of here's the important things rather than here's a story about what we did.
I've actually noticed in the last couple of years the quality of posters at meetings really going up. I don't know if that's just the software is easier for people to use or they've become more comfortable with it.
What do you think is the most important element on a poster?
I would say the question is probably the most important, or the hypothesis, and then the take-home.
Main questions of the project in the introduction, I think, are the most important part. Seeing, why are we interested in whatever we're looking at? What are the main questions that you want to address about the organism that you're studying?
What are the most common mistakes to avoid?
Number one issue that people have is they try to fit too much text on their posters. They want to put everything in their paper on the poster. And really, ideally, it should be about a 50-50 ratio, text to images.
Bad posters are ones that have tons of text.
Be very clear about what the message is and only provide the information that gets the audience to that message.
I'm a real believer in less is more when it comes to designing posters. Putting too much words on a poster is a bit of a turnoff. Usually in a poster session, the presenter is standing next to their poster during a allotted period of time, and that's when you have a chance to fill in the gaps.
What is important to think about with regards to poster layout?
Think about where people's eyes are going to go first when they look at your poster and how you want their attention to flow.
I think of a poster as a one snapshot view of a typical scientific paper. Think of the major elements of a standard scientific paper. The abstract, which should be very brief, maybe even just a few sentences. A very brief discussion, again, it could even be 2 or 3 bullet points. Very briefly, the materials and methods, and then the results are really, what you're probably wanting to showcase, and that can be done through a visual, through a chart, through a graph, and then maybe not so much discussion, but conclusion or next steps that might be taken in that project. Just tell me what this study is about. What's the goal? That's enough.
How do I get someone to come look at my poster?
So the poster itself has to hook the person in because people wander up and down the aisles they browse these posters, and you want them to stop at yours. Maybe you engage eye contact somehow and smile, and then they might stop and look.
You want people to look at your most important information first, and that is why your title is going to be largest at the very top of your poster, and that should grab people's attention first. But of course, the thing that somebody looks at very, very first thing is probably going to be an image on your poster.
Having lots of figures that show the results. You can have 2 or 3 really good figures and then a few sentences about those figures. And I just think that pictures, say 1,000 words.
As part of trying to be really clear about the message, visuals are way more than 1,000 times more important than text. It's not just pictures 1,000 words, it's a lot more than that.
How should I talk to someone who comes to my poster?
Reading your audience is really crucial.
When you're actually talking to people at the poster, it's a very good idea to find out why they're interested in your poster, find out if they have any previous experience so that you can sort of tailor talking to them so that you're on the same page in terms of what their background information is. At the very least, you have to remember where you started yourself because everybody else is at least at that point.
Well, hi, let me introduce you. My name is so-and-so, and what's your name? Where do you come from?
Finally, what are some tips about ethos that we should consider?
You want to be understandable. Your job is not to impress somebody. Your job is to explain your work. And it doesn't matter whether you're a scientist or whatever your position in life is. To use your knowledge as a way to distance yourself from someone or make yourself seem more important is doing everyone a disservice.
This is your chance to advertise your work, to reach out, to network, And nowadays people walk around with smartphones and take pictures of people's posters. So you want to make sure your name and your address and email are on there.